can't even find the right words to describe how excited we are for Matt Reeves and the Batman. 2021 and 2022 are years reserved for Batman only. The Flash movie is coming in 2022. A new incarnation of The Dark Knight is coming in 2021, and Robert Pattinson is playing the Caped Crusader. The Batman will be the character's first solo feature after the end of Christopher Nolan's acclaimed Dark Knight trilogy. Keep watching to find out everything we know so far about The Batman, including the cast and the amazing plot. Number 8. The trailer. The official trailer part 1 of The Batman is everything we wanted and needed. From everything the director has reporting on the film, it's sure that we'll get a Bat film unlike any other before. We can be certain that Robert Pattinson will perfectly reflect Caped Crusader, both without and with the mask on. And another great thing is that the main antagonist will be presented by Paul Dano's Riddler. The director put together features among many Batman characters for the upcoming movie. How these characters' features meet was one of the most exciting things about writing this movie, according to Reeves. We'll also see many unforgettable characters, including Selina Kyle, Commissioner Gordon, and the Penguin, as they all chose to perform in the movie. Can you guys imagine how fun the story will be? So in the awaited movie, we'll get to see a minimum of 3 of the Caped Crusader's most terrifying enemies.
Then why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you?
Number 7. Release date. The movie industry struggles a lot with the coronavirus pandemic, including the Batman production, which unfortunately is also a victim of the COVID-19 outbreak. On the latest outgoing, the crew faced a lot of troubles, and COVID caused some serious headaches on set. Pattinson was infected by the virus during filming, and he stayed in isolation until he was clear, which is probably the main reason for the delay. The director's plans were different. He wanted to use real locations before the pandemic, but alternative decisions have now been made by utilizing the cutting-edge technology behind The Mandalorian. Named virtual production, the effective technique allows visual effects to be made in real time with a huge LED screen powered by an excellent video game engine. Industrial Light and Magic Chief Creative Officer Rob Bradell told that the Batman crew used these approaches in the year's virtual View conference with the best people in VFX and computer animation.
Like a rat in a trap, gentlemen. You might have the wrong animal there, sir.
Number 6. The cast. Back in 2015, Warner Bros. Brought out the best news in the movie industry about the next solo Batman movie. Ben Affleck was originally directing the movie. Also, he was planned to be the star since he and Jeff Johns were co-writing the screenplay. But the movie has been through a lot of changes since then. Affleck dropped out, first as a director, then completely. Later, we saw that he has been working in both the Snyder Cut of Justice League, and he got a bigger role in 2022's The Flash. Matt Reeves, the director of War of the Planet of the Apes, is the director of The Batman. Also, Reeves is writing and producing the movie together with Dylan Clark. Michael Giacchino is also taking part in the production of the movie, and he said he has total freedom with his part in the franchise. As we know, Robert Pattinson will be playing Batman, Bruce Wayne. Jeffrey Wright is meeting Robert, who will be casting the role of Commissioner Gordon. Zoë Kravitz will be Catwoman. Then we have Paul Dano as the Riddler, the talented Jayme Lawson as Gotham, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, Alfred Pennyworth will be portraying Andy Serkis, and Peter Sarsgaard as Jill Coulson, and John Turturro as Mob Chief Carmine Falcone. Charlie Carver and Max are also included in the movie, but will be playing secret characters.
What are you doing?
I can get it out over the bay.
Set it to fly out over the water then eject?
No autopilot.
Number 5. Batman's plot. The Batman is set after 2 years of the character's superhero occupation, even though he's still a young hero. Pattinson's character is still developing his techniques and building a connection with the GCPD. The story focuses on the search for a serial killer who kills rich Gotham residents, including Batman's parents. According to some opinions, the Batman is set in the 90s, as some people told that Robert is playing a younger version of Affleck's Batman. But the trailer shows that events happen in our modern times, since there are cell phones and modern cars. Also, there's this amazing car style to the new Batmobile design, for which we'll talk later. Now, with this being said, we know that the Batman doesn't really have any connection to the DCEU. But since DC is featuring the multiverse in its next live-action projects, it means we'll probably see Robert's Batman appear elsewhere. What we know is that this movie will definitely take a different turn in the Dark Knight's world, focusing more on the character's detective skills, unlike the other Batman movies. Probably, the best thing is that the movie centers mostly on the action. As Reeves said, the movie includes extra action, and fans would witness a more well-rounded superhero experience. We recently found that Pattinson is training in jiu-jitsu, and according to Andy Serkis, we're about to see a much darker side of Batman than any of its predecessors. So are you guys excited to see Pattinson in some big action scenes? Number 4. Possible villains. Now, let's talk about villains. We already know that Batman will have from 2 to 6 villains. As we previously mentioned, Catwoman, Riddler, and Penguin will all take part in the movie, but some people are claiming that the Mad Hatter and Two-Face would also be a part of the Batman world. Maybe the Batman will be the start of a new trilogy. Back in 2017, Reeves said that he has some thoughts about a multi-movie Batman story. "I have ideas about an arc," he said. But really, the important thing is just to start. You have to start with one. Number 3. The Gotham PD series. The chance that we'll see more Batman movies with Pattinson in the lead role is huge, and you might be surprised to know that the franchise is also making a small screen spin-off. Warner Media published a prequel series called Gotham PD. The series is on HBO Max and will be executive produced by Boardwalk Empire creator Terrence Winter. The idea of this story was a story in which Gotham, which has this depth of corruption, and the idea that we could do a series that is going deeper into an aspect of it, which in this case is the corrupt police department. The corrupt inner workings of the city, said Reeves at DC Fandom. He also talked about the way they're going to do the series, and he seemed pleased about the writer, Terrence Winter. He shared that the idea is to go back to year 1, and year 1 is the beginning of the first emergence, the first appearance of this masked vigilante that starts to unsettle in the city, and you start to see the story through the POV of these corrupt cops, and one in particular, and the story is actually a battle for his soul. Well, we're definitely more excited about the movie now. Number 2. The amazing Pattinson. Now, let's talk about Pattinson. Is he the perfect fit for the iconic role? The news about Pattinson being Bruce Wayne, the Caped Crusader, and Matt Reeves, the Batman, has divided people's opinions. It's been months since we first heard the news about him taking the part, and speculations haven't stopped ever since. Some say he will flawlessly resemble the role, while others state that there are many other talented actors which fit the role better than Pattinson. So guys, what do you think? Did you know that both Robert Pattinson and Nicholas Hoult were up for the role? The director had a hard decision to make. It was narrowed to Pattinson and Nicholas Hoult, but Pattinson was chosen to represent the famed vigilante. Where did Pattinson take the inspiration for his role? Marvel superheroes. In an interview with Healthy for Men magazine, Pattinson told that he thinks the role of Batman is one great chance for his career, and the role made him very nervous. But then, he looked up to the Marvel stars Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, and Robert Downey Jr. as representatives of the true warriors of the superhero genre. According to Matt Reeves, the film will be noir-driven, with Batman investigating a particular case that takes us out into the world of Gotham. Number 1. A different Batman. As we previously said, the Batman movie will feature a story that is focused on noir detective drove rather than a superhero movie. Gotham City is way too corrupted, and apparently it even includes Bruce's family. Riddler in this movie is a character you wouldn't have seen before this, stated Reeves. What's more interesting is what's written over the covered tape. It says, "No more lies." What it means? Well, we'll find out. We've been through characters, we've been through theories. Now let's talk about the thing everyone loves the most, the Batmobile. In the previous Batman movies, we've come across many different ideas of the Batmobile, the newest ones being Christian Bale Batman's Batmobile, the Tumbler, and Ben Affleck's Batmobile. A similar concept about these two is that they were designed somehow like tanks and could take a lot of villains and criminals. Now, Matt Reeves shared some images of the new Batmobile. The other Batmobiles were quite heavy, and that's not the case with this one. Pattinson's Batmobile has a muscle car transformed into a Batmobile. With that being said, this is going to be really fast and flexible, so it's fair to expect the Batmobile's involvement in intense action scenes. We end our video here, guys. Are you excited about The Batman? Let us know. Also, share your thoughts about the things we know so far about the upcoming movie. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing videos such as this. Thanks for watching.